Shalom, Israel. This is the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge. Started out of 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York. And tonight is the Thursday class, scripture breakdown. And we're about to get into these scriptures, man. We're about to show, the story of Ruth, man. The story of Ruth is more than just trying to prove that Ruth was a Moabite, even though that seemed to be a lot of the topic that we have to discuss with, especially these fake Israelite groups, you know what I'm saying? We have to deal with them on a daily basis because they just want to be able to sleep with a heathen woman, you know what I'm saying? And so they use Ruth to say we can do that, but the story of Ruth is so much more. We're going to prove that, you know what I'm saying, that she actually was an Israelite, you understand? But we're going to prove that, you know what I'm saying, the story is much more than just, whether she was a Moabite or not. You know what I'm saying? The story is a pretty great story. You know what I'm saying? You got to understand the kind of woman that Ruth was, man. And this especially for them sisters. You know what I'm saying? You want to get you a husband. You know what I'm saying? You want to find out how to get a husband. Read the story of Ruth. You know what I'm saying? That's where you find out what you got to do and how you should go about doing it if you're trying to get you a man. You know what I'm saying? That's what you do. So, you know what I'm saying? I'm just going to go ahead and go straight into the scriptures. Can I get Ruth 1:1, please?
Come. Now it came to pass in the days when the judges ruled.
This was before Israel was an actual nation. You know what I'm saying? We was just tribes. Each tribe after their own kind. You know what I'm saying? The tribe of Manasseh, Judah, Ephraim. We was just a tribe. We was not unified yet. This is before King David. This is when the judges ruled over Israel, or the tribes. Go ahead.
That there was a famine in the land, and a certain man of Bethlehem, Judah, went to sojourn in the country of Moab.
Okay, so it's a famine in the land, and a certain man, which is Elimelech, who we're about to get into, he go and he sojourned to the country of Moab. Why didn't it say land of Moab? You know what I'm saying? Why did it say country and not the land of Moab? You know what I'm saying? Because he never traveled to the land of Moab where the actual Moabites was living. You know what I'm saying? He went to the country, which is the surrounding areas, the region, and the region, that's where he traveled at. You know what I'm saying? He didn't actually go into the land of Moab, and the Bible is being very specific in this case. You know what I'm saying? That's why it's saying country. That you got to pay attention to context, man. That's very important because a lot of, like I say, Israelites like to say, see, he went to the land of Moab. You know what I'm saying? He went to Moab and he got a Moabite woman, and that's not true. That's why the Bible is so specific on giving you the country. That's like the first key, you know what I'm saying? And when you go into the Old Testament, I'm going to do that next week. But right now, you know what I'm saying, I'm just going to get into the story of Ruth. But next week, I'm actually going to show how we had that land way before, you know what I'm saying, Ruth was even born. You know what I mean? So you can keep going.
God, he and his wife and his 2 sons.
So it's him, it's Elimelech, and his wife, who is Naomi, and his 2 sons.
Verse 2. And the name of the man was Elimelech, and the name of his wife Naomi, and the name of his 2.
Anybody know what name? What nationality was Naomi? For time's sake, it don't really specify. You know what I'm saying? What tribe she was? It don't show in the scriptures what exact tribe she was from. But what is certain in the scriptures is that she was an Israelite woman. You know what I'm saying? You keep going, sir.
Come. And the name of his 2 sons, Mahlon and Chilion. Ephrathites of Bethlehem, Judah. And they came into the country of Moab and continued there.
So they went into the region of Moab, you know what I'm saying, the land, not the actual land, but the countryside, you know what I'm saying, and they continued inside of this country. Keep going.
Verse 3. And Amalek, Naomi's husband, died.
So Amalek, Naomi's husband died. So now Amalek is dead. He done passed. He gave up the ghost, and she's left now with her 2 sons.
And she was left, her and her 2 sons.
Right.
Verse 4. And they took them wives of the women of Moab. The name of the one was Orpah, and the name of the other Ruth.
All right, so Salaki, sir. So when you get it, so when you start getting into that, and they say they took them wives from the country of Moab, what is that saying? What is that truly saying? You know, that's like saying, okay, like if you in the truth and your rib was born in China, does that make her Chinese? Right. It don't make her Chinese, even though she was born in China. Just no different than, you know what I'm saying? I don't want to bring up the brother because he done passed, but Kobe was born in Italy. He would be a so-called Italian. You know what I'm saying? But he's a black man, even though he would be, looked at as an Italian because that's where he was born. It's no different than that. Like a brother that got a rib and she came in, and her birthplace was actually China. You know what I'm saying? Her citizenship, if you want to say it like that. You know what I'm saying? But she was born in China. You know what I'm saying? But that don't make her a Chinese woman. And that's the key thing you got to understand about Ruth. Ruach in the Hebrew. You know what I'm saying? You keep going.
Come. And they dwelled there about 10 years.
So now they in this land. So Naomi, Elimelech, he done passed. It's just the 2 sons, and they take on wives, Orpah and Ruth, and they dwelled in that land in the country of Moab 10 years. So they've been in there 10 years. Go ahead.
Verse 5. And Mahlon and Chilion died also, both of them.
So now the sons done died. The sons done gave up the ghost. So now Naomi's husband and her 2 sons done passed. So now it's just Naomi. Keep going.
And the woman was left of her 2 sons and her husband.
Right.
Verse 6. Then she arose with her daughters-in-law.
Right.
That she might.
So she arose. So she didn't gather Ruth and Orpah with her. You know what I'm saying? Keep going, sir.
That she might return from the country of Moab.
So now, keep going. One more. Keep going. Yeah, the next line.
For she had heard in the country of Moab how that the Lord had visited his people and given them bread.
What does that mean? You know what I'm saying? Giving them bread, that the Lord had visited that country and given them bread. You know what I'm saying? It means that, okay, so in verse 1, in Ruth 1:1, it was a famine in the land. So now she wants to return to her country because she done heard that, you know what I'm saying, the famine is over with. There's no more famine in the land, so now she's seeking to go back to her home country. You know what I'm saying? Which would be the land of Judah. You know what I'm saying? Because that's where she met Elimelech at. You know what I mean? All right, keep going, sir. But that's what that giving much bread means. It just means that the Lord and the famine is gone, and now they able to harvest their crops again, and everything.
Verse 7. Wherefore she went forth out of the place where she was, and her 2 daughters-in-law with her, and they went on the way to return unto the land of Judah.
And then now they done returned to the land of Judah. And okay, so even if you want to run with the notion, just to entertain it for a second, just to entertain it for a quick second, even if you want to run with the notion that Ruth was a Moabite, that she was a so-called Chinese woman, right? So now Ruth and Orpah are leaving with Naomi to go back into the land of Judah. The fact that she's a heathen, that's finna get ready to blackball her. You know what I'm saying? Because there will be no man in the land of Judah that would take her as a wife because she a heathen. Salaki.
Then Salaki, if I may, you know what I'm saying, in the law, You know what I'm saying? Children of Moabites or even that's mingled with Moabite blood can't come into the congregation for what? Forever? I thought it was 10 generations or forever. You know what I'm saying? So she wouldn't have been able to even walk through the gates of Judah.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? With her.
Right.
10 generations.
So
I thought Moabites was 10 generations or forever.
right. So right. So even with that being said, well, what Officer Uriah said, you know what I'm saying, even by the law that they would be removed 10 generations, but even just to entertain this context, this verse right here, like she would have been blackballed if she was an actual heathen, because no man put your hand down, but no man would marry her, and that's just not in the land of Judah. That's wherever she would have went, no matter if it would have been in the land of Manasseh, it would have been the land of Ephraim. No matter where she would have went, she wouldn't have been able to marry. No man would have been able to take her on as a wife because the fact that she would have been a heathen. You know what I'm saying? So that's just to entertain that notion, which that also proves that she couldn't have been a Moabite, a so-called Chinese woman. You know what I'm saying? That's just to entertain that fact if you never looked at it from that perspective before. You know what I'm saying? You keep going off Saran Slaki, sir.
God. Verse 8, and Naomi said unto her 2 daughters-in-law, Go, return each to her mother's house.
That's the second clue. Return each to your mother's house. You know what I'm saying? Because that's Israelite custom. You know what I'm saying? You ain't going to just go off and just live with anyone. Most likely you're going to go back to where your relatives live. So when she told her in verse 8 to go return each to your mother's house, that's saying go to your relative's house. Y'all leave and go to y'all relative's house. You know what I'm saying? Keep going.
God, the Lord deal kindly with you, as ye have dealt with the dead, and with me.
The Lord dealt kindly with her. What does that mean? Because after Lamelech died, after her sons died, their 2 husbands, Naomi and Ruth and Orpah husbands, they passed. You know what I'm saying? The Ruth and Orpah still remained with her. You know what I'm saying? They took care of her. They prepared the body. They took care of all the expenses necessary. They did everything that they needed to do to help Naomi out. They didn't, they didn't abandon her or nothing. They stuck by her side and stayed with her through the whole ordeal, through the whole of her losing her husband and her 2 sons. That they remained together and they stayed, and they had just a certain bond. You know what I'm saying? And Naomi is said, like, you done dealt kindly with me, especially dealing with the death that them bestowed me. You know what I'm saying? Keep going.
God.
That would be
verse 11.
Verse 9.
That's like verse 9. The Lord grant you that ye may find rest, each of you in the house of her husband.
Right. You know what I'm saying? Because that's a sad. Hold on, we at verse 9, sir?
God.
Okay. Salaki. You keep going, sir.
Then she kissed them, and they lifted up their voice and wept.
Yeah, it's a sad occasion. They've been together. They've been holding it down with each other for this long. You know what I'm saying? They done been through so much. You know what I'm saying? Especially like I said in the previous verse that with the death of her husband and her sons and just the bond that they done had over this 10-year period. You know what I'm saying? That's their mother. So she's telling them to go. And y'all young, man. Y'all go live y'all life. You know what I'm saying? Go do whatever you need to do. You know what I'm saying? You're young. You know what I'm saying? You look good. Go find you a husband or something. Keep going, sir. Verse 10, I believe.
Come, verse 10. And they said unto her, Surely we will return with thee unto thy people.
Hey, like la'ah. She's saying la'ah. You know what I'm saying? We want to stay with you. You know what I'm saying? That, we want to return with you to your house in the land of Judah. You know what I'm saying? We want to come back and live with you. Verse 11.
And Naomi said, Turn again, my daughters. Why will ye go with me? Are there yet any more sons in my womb?
And what that is saying, like, she telling them, nah, you know what I'm saying? Y'all go do y'all thing. I mean, what you gonna come back with me for? Like, why you gonna come live with me? I mean, I ain't got no sons. I ain't got no sons to give you for you to marry. So, why you want to come back with me when y'all got pretty much, y'all young, you can still have babies, you know what I'm saying? Go do y'all thing, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna let the next verse gonna explain it. The next verse gonna explain it.
God.
The next line.
That they may be your husbands?
Right. She like, what? I ain't got no more kids, no children for you. You know what I'm saying? Keep going.
Verse 12. Turn again, my daughters. Go your way, for I am too old to have a husband.
Naomi like, look, you know what I'm saying? I'm too old to remarry. You know what I'm saying? I don't even have time to even do that right now. You know what I'm saying? You want to say something about Saladio?
Oh, no.
Oh, Salaki. All right.
If I should say, I have hope, if I should have a husband also tonight, and should also bear sons.
Okay, so she like, look, okay, and even if the Lord did, you know what I'm saying, smile on me, you know what I'm saying, and give me a husband, and I end up having more children. Keep going.
Verse 13. Would ye tarry for them till they were grown?
Would you wait for them? Would you wait until they grew up? You know what I'm saying? Would you wait for them to grow up and become full men? You know what I'm saying? To marry them? Could you keep your legs closed that long? You know what I'm saying? She getting real sarcastic with them. You know, she trying to get them to go and do their own thing, and they just don't want to leave. They want to stick with it. They've been with it this whole time. They love her. You know what I'm saying? And Naomi grieving too. You know what I'm saying? She don't, it's part of her still, she like, okay, I see that, but y'all got so much more ahead of y'all. You know what I'm saying? And just, like, in my house, it's gloomy. You know what I'm saying? That's like if you if you ever been to a single mother's house, it ain't really that fun. You know what I'm saying? When you go over there, like if you have a mom or something like that, and she's a single mother, and when you go visit her, you know what I'm saying? It's a little gloomy over there. You know what I'm saying? Because it's just her in the house by herself. You know what I'm saying? I mean, what is there to do? That's why when you come through, she be so happy. Your mother be so happy to see you, because she been bored. As soon as you get over there and you've been there for a while, the first thing you think is like, damn, it's boring over here. You know what I'm saying? It's boring. It's gloomy. You know what I'm saying? So she like, instead of doing that, won't y'all go get y'all a husband, man? Go live y'all life. You know what I'm saying? Keep going.
Come. Would ye stay for them from having husbands?
Right.
Nay, my daughters, for it grieveth me much for your sakes, that the hand of the Lord is gone out against me.
Right.
Verse 14. And they lifted up their voice and wept again.
Oh, and they pleading with her. They pleading with her. You know what I'm saying? Like, they are trying to do everything in their power to where she would disregard that factor. You know what I'm saying? That whether she'll finally just give up and say, okay, y'all can stay. You know what I'm saying? It'll just be us three. But Naomi, she know the game, so she ain't finna do that. You know what I'm saying? So we can keep going, sir.
Verse 14.
Right.
And they lifted up their voice again and wept. And Orpah kissed her mother-in-law, but Ruth clave unto her.
Ruth said, like, I ain't going nowhere. Orpah left. You know what I'm saying? Orpah, respected her wishes, and, she saw it from a different perspective. Okay, I see where Naomi coming from. You know what I'm saying? I'm just going to go ahead and do as she say. But Ruth, she was like, I'm staying with you. You know what I'm saying? You are my mother. You know what I'm saying? I'm staying with you. You can skip down to 16, sir.
Verse 16.
Right.
And Ruth said, entreat me not to leave thee, or return from following after thee.
Right.
For For whither thou goest, I will go, and where thou lodgest, I will lodge. Thy people shall be my people, and thy God my God.
Right. Fake Israelites would have shut the book right there. See? You know what I'm saying? Why would she say if she was a Moabite? If she was an Israelite, why would she have to say that? You know what I'm saying? Why would she have to, you know what I'm saying, say that your God would be my God if she wasn't an Israelite? You know, if she wasn't a Moabite. You know what I'm saying? It's just simply saying, you know, Ruth grew up in the country of Moab. Meaning she grew up saying Konnichiwa. You know what I'm saying? She grew up, right. She did. She grew up saying, you know, she grew up in a different custom. She didn't grow up in the land of Judah. You know, she wasn't rocking the garments that they was rocking in Judah. She grew up with a totally different lifestyle. You know what I'm saying? And so that's just like, you know, her accent was different. Everything, I mean, don't get me wrong, she, you know, she got the full lips, the curves, you know, she clearly is a sister, but you know, she just got Chinese apparel on or something. You know what I'm saying? She just came up in a different custom than what they did in the land of Judah. You know what I'm saying? So we're gonna drop that, and we're gonna go ahead and go into chapter 2, starting at verse 1.
This is Ruth chapter 2, verse 1. And Naomi had a kinsman of her husband's, a mighty man of wealth.
And okay, now we're finna get into Boaz, you know what I'm saying? And Boaz was a relative of Elimelech.
Of the family of Elimelech.
Right.
And his name was Boaz.
Right.
Verse 2. And Ruth the Moabitess said unto Naomi.
Why did they call her a Moabitess? Because she wasn't born in the land of Judah.
Right.
You know, they looking at her like that's no different if, you know what I'm saying, you go to Jamaica right now or to England, what they gonna call you?
A Yankee.
A Yankee. An American. You know what I'm saying? These brothers, you know what I'm saying? You know, you a Judite, he a Judite, he was just raised in England, he gonna call you an American, even though y'all both Judites. You know what I'm saying? The same thing, Benjamites probably go through that all the time, because every time, you know, that's where all the Benjamites come from. As soon as they come from Jamaica or the islands, they hit straight at New York. That's the first place they go. You know what I'm saying? But that's all that simply meant, was that, you know, she just wasn't from the land of Judah. So that's how they handled her. That's Ruth the Moabite. You know what I'm saying? It's not saying that she's a Moabite. It's just saying that she's from another land. You know what I'm saying? This sister came all the way from over here. All right.
Verse 3. Salakia, verse 2.
Verse 2.
And Ruth the Moabitess said unto Naomi, let me go now to the field, and glean ears of corn after him in whose sight I shall find grace.
Right. So she in the country now, and her and like I said, after all that fighting with Naomi and everything, she, you know, Naomi finally was like, okay, you know what I'm saying, you can just hang with me. Orpah, she gone. She been there. She hunting for a man. So Ruth, you know what I'm saying, in Hebrew, she like, well, okay, well, you know, let me go work in the field, you know what I'm saying, to glean corn. You know, when you get into the Salaki, I'm gonna go and find it real quick, but when you get into the Levitical chapter, to glean corn, it just means like if you had a harvest, you couldn't take all of your harvest. You had to, you know what I'm saying, you had to leave something for the poor. You know what I'm saying? And that's what she was going to do. She wasn't going to work, she was just going to get whatever was left, you know what I'm saying, out the field. So she was just going to glean corn. And not only that, you know what I'm saying, she was trying to get, you know, Boaz to notice her too. So that was one of her little grand schemes, you know what I'm saying? She was like, you know, I'm going to go and get out in the corn And I'm gonna get out there and go glean some corn, and then hopefully, you know what I'm saying, he'll notice me. But this is Leviticus. I'm gonna read this one, sir. This is Leviticus, the 19th chapter, starting at verse 9. And it say, and when ye reap the harvest of your land, thou shalt not wildly reap the corners of thy field, neither shalt thou gather the gleaning of thy harvest. You know what I'm saying? And that was to ensure that the poor had something to eat, that they wasn't left out, that you wasn't. So if you had apple trees, fig trees, orange trees, tomatoes, cabbages, whatever you had, whatever you was harvesting, you had to leave a remnant for the poor. You know what I'm saying? You just couldn't expel everything and take everything and just leave nothing for the poor. That's one of our laws, you know what I'm saying? So that is what she's doing out there in the field right now, you know what I'm saying? She's gleaning corn, she's out there working, you know what I'm saying? And she's also, matter of fact, I'm gonna let you go to finish reading, so it's gonna come to that. I don't want to get too far ahead of myself.
Come. And she said unto her, Go, my daughter. Verse 3. And she went and came and gleaned in the field after the reapers.
Right.
And her hap was too light on a part of the field belonging unto Boaz.
So hap, you know what I'm saying? She trying to create the scenario, you know what I'm saying? She trying to create the chance to get involved with this man. Maybe, you know what I'm saying, if I work the field that Boaz owned, you know what I'm saying, my chances of running into this man would be great. Like, man, y'all sisters got this, man, look. If you want to know how to get a man, read Ruth. You know what I'm saying? Like the book of Ruth, if I can sidebar for a quick second, man, the book of Ruth is so great and it's so heavy because it identifies, like, this woman, this sister earned her spot in the Bible. You know what I'm saying? And for two or more reasons, you know what I'm saying? One, you know, she's the great grandmother of King David. You know what I'm saying? And Boaz is the great grandfather of King David as well, a direct lineage. You know what I'm saying? And also, she showed how a woman is supposed to be. You know what I'm saying? We spent all this time debating, you know what I'm saying, what nationality she was, when in fact, you know, it's more to this than it ever was. Like, the story of Ruth is a great story. You know what I'm saying? And it's just sad that we have to this sister been dead, I mean, done gave up the ghost, like I said, for thousands of years now, since she done been on this earth. And the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge, we still have to defend this sister's honor. You know what I'm saying? We still, in 2020, have to defend Ruth, even though she's been off this earth for thousands of years. We still got to defend her integrity. Why? Because if we don't, that the whole world will be thinking that she was actual Chinese. You know what I'm saying? They'll be giving you Ruth to go marry heathen women. You know what I'm saying? So we have to defend this sister, even though she been gone. And we the only ones that's doing that. Everybody else would rather just write off as a Moabite so they can go get a filthy Chinese woman. You know what I'm saying? Keep going, sir. I don't mind.
Who was the kindred of Elimelech. Verse 4. And behold, Boaz came from Bethlehem and said unto the reapers, The Lord be with you.
What did Boaz do? You know what I'm saying? What was Boaz doing when he said, Lord be with you? He came through, which is also another Israelite custom. Lord be with you. He came out to the field and he was saluting the brothers. He's like, Yahweh Shem Shabbat, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Lord, in the name of Yahweh shall bless you. You know what I'm saying? He came out to the field one day saluting the brothers. Go on, sir.
Come. And they answered him, The Lord bless thee. Verse 5. Then Boaz said unto his servant that was set over the reapers, Whose damsel is this?
Like, whose damsel is this? You know what I'm saying? What was Boaz saying? Like, really, when he asked that question, what was Boaz asking?
Like he was actually inquiring because you know what I'm saying. Like, first of all, you know that's an upstanding brother to go. You know what I'm saying. First of all, salute the brothers that's actually working and tarrying in his fields.
Right.
You know what I'm saying. Like, you know,
Might
today,
be a
like
little
you
warm
don't see most CEOs or most branch managers come down and just even speak to their regular employees.
Right.
You know what I'm saying. But this brother came down and you know he saluted the men that was actually doing the work for him. You know what I'm saying. Right. And when he saw her, you know what I'm saying, she was working in the fields too, because he never saw her before. So now he's like, okay, who is this here? You know what I'm saying? First of all, you know, when he said, whose damsel is this? I mean, he's like, you know, expecting, you know, this is somebody's real. Right. You know what I'm saying? And instead of him just saying, hey, tell her to come in, I'm finna holler at her, he's like, well, let me inquire about her first, because she may be another man's husband. He's like, well, whose damsel is this? Right. You know what I'm saying? So he's inquiring because he's interested.
Right. He's like, who rib is this? Who rib is this? You know what I'm saying? That's all he say. Yeah, and that's heavy what you were saying, sir. You know what I'm saying? 'Cause in this empire, you definitely don't get that type of treatment. Right. You definitely don't get that level of brotherhood, even if it's a brother that actually owns the business. Right. You know what I'm saying? Because on that note, they take on the spirit of the white man on that note. You know what I'm saying? So they see that's how the white man treated him before he came into having his own business. You know, that's how it was. So now that he's in position and in some type of authority, he take on that same spirit. He act the same way. You know what I'm saying? And that's why, you know, we concentrate and focus a lot on brotherhood. You know what I'm saying? So you don't have to feel like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, you got workers up under you. You still, I might be the boss, but I'm still one of y'all, you know. That's why I love Commander General YAHANNA, you know what I'm saying? Because that's him one-on-one. That's him all day, you know what I'm saying? Commander General YAHANNA get out there with you and sweat with you. You know what I'm saying? Even though he's in charge of all Israel right now, you know what I'm saying? All right, you keep going, sir.
Come, verse 5. Let's lock it. Verse 6. And the servant that was set over the reapers answered and said, it is the Moabitish damsel that came back with Naomi out of the country of Moab.
Okay. Moabitish. That's
right.
UPK 101.
Right.
What is that? You know what I'm saying?
Well, you know, the ish means, you know, it's like she's something like, or she's of something.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So she's not quite Moabite. She's, you know what I'm saying, she's from that part.
The same thing we say with the Jews. You know, they not the real Jews. They Jew-ish.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? To be like, they not the biblical Jews. They just converts. You know what I'm saying? Which is another clue to her not being an actual Chinese woman. Why would they even say that? Why would they have to say that? Why would they say Moabitish? They said Elijah, what they said about Elijah. You know what I'm saying? They called him the what?
Egyptian?
No, they called him, that was Paul, I believe. Yeah, that was Paul. But they called Elijah a Tishbite.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They called him because he was from that land, but he was an Israelite. Not because he was like a Tishbite, he was just an Israelite living in that land. You know what I'm saying? So the same thing with Ruth. She's just a woman that come from the country, not the land Moab, where Moab is still ruling and reigning at. You know what I'm saying? But that part, the countryside, that region was still controlled by Israel. And the next week, and not to go too far into it, but next week, man, I'm actually go into the scriptures and show how we had took that land. Man, we like Israel had that part after the Amorites had conquered Moab at one point, and some of them had went further down into the Moabite country. I mean the land, and the Amorites took over at that point. So by the time we coming out of Egypt and in the wilderness and stuff, we basically, I'm not going to give too much away because I want to go into that for next week, but we conquered the Amorites. We were just trying to pass, and they came out against us, and we slaughtered them all. You know what I'm saying? Not only did we, when I say slaughtered them all, I'm talking about every man, woman, child, grandmother, grandfather, all of them. And we inhabited that land. So by the time you even get to the book of Ruth, Israel is already dwelling in that conquered part of what you would call the land of Moab, where the plains are at. You know what I'm saying? For about at least over, like I say, I'm still getting into the studies of it, but what I know already is that at least by the time you get to the book of Ruth, it's 300-400, probably close to 500 years later. You know what I'm saying? That Israel was in control of that part that they slaughtered the Amorites on. Who the Amorites had conquered Moab and took that part on that side of the river. You know what I'm saying? But I'll get into that, like I said, next week. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, like I say, Moabitish, that's 101, you know what I'm saying, UPK. Does that mean she's Moab? Because they called her a Moabitish woman, does that mean she's Moab? No, it don't. You know what I'm saying? So we're going to skip down, and sir, we're going to go ahead and we're going to jump into chapter 3. Starting at verse 1.
God, this is the book of Ruth, chapter 3, verse 1. Then Naomi, her mother-in-law, said unto her, My daughter, shall I not seek rest for thee, that it may be well with thee?
Right.
Verse 2.
So she like, man, I'm about to hook you up. I'm just about to go ahead and hook you up. And you know what I'm saying? You got to understand, Naomi, she's a seasoned woman. Because like I say, when she said, then Naomi, her mother-in-law, said unto her, My daughter, shall I not seek rest of thee? Like, okay, I see you out there grinding. You out there in the field, sweating every day. I see you out there. You know what I'm going to do for you? I'm going to go and get you some rest. I'm going to go and hook you up. Naomi was seasoned. She know how to get a man. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what Ruth, the story of Ruth, not only the significance in it being about how a woman should present. Like, man, look, if a woman is trying to get a husband, come read the book of Ruth. I'm gonna keep reiterating that because that's really what the book of Ruth about. And not only that, the other significance is that the book of Ruth is the beginning of Yahushai's lineage. You know what I'm saying? As a matter of fact, I'm gonna get that real quick. That's Matthew Salakia, 1 and 5, I think. Salakia. Right, this the book of Matthew, chapter 1, verse 5. And Solomon begat Boaz of Rechab, and Boaz begat Obed of Ruth, and Obed begot Jesse, and Jesse, verse 6, and Jesse begot David the king. You know what I'm saying? So just to go in there, just to show you, you know what I'm saying, like Ruth and Boaz was King David's great-grandparents. They was ushering in, you know what I'm saying? That was the beginning right there, all the way down to King David, from King David all the way down through Solomon, all the way down to Yahushai. That was the beginning of Yahushai's lineage, right? That's why this book has another key point and significance. You know what I'm saying? We have to battle these fake Israelite groups over whether she was a Moabite or not. But the true essence of this book, the book of Ruth, man, it's to show, you know what I'm saying, women, man, like women, like this is how you get your husband. Do what Ruth did. As you're going to see, you know what I'm saying, as we get further down into the scriptures, do what Ruth did. And I promise you, you'll have the same man in your bed every single night. You know what I'm saying? All right, so, you know, so Naomi, like, you know, look, I see you out there working hard, you know what I'm saying, and you trying to get this man to notice you. Look, look at it. I'm gonna go holler at him for you. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna show you how to get him, basically. Not go holler at him for you, but I'm gonna show you how to get him. This is what you got to do. And she sees it. She didn't had a man. She didn't been married, so she know every little perk that you would need to do to get a man to notice you and stuff. So we're gonna keep going up. Is that the end of verse 1?
That's the end of verse 1.
Okay.
Verse 2. And now is not Boaz of our kindred?
Right. Salaki. Which is another clue about Ruth or Ruwath being Israelite woman. Why would she say that? You know what I'm saying? This is Ruth speaking, and she's saying, and now is not Boaz of our kindred. You know what I'm saying? Isn't he family? Like a Moabite woman wouldn't say that. She would know that she's not related to any of them. You know what I'm saying?
With whose maidens thou wast, behold, he winnoweth barley tonight in the threshing floor.
Right. So look, we know where he gonna be at. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, prepare yourself. Get ready. You know what I'm saying? Watch what Naomi tell her.
Verse 3. Wash thyself therefore. What? Wash thyself therefore.
Wash thyself. She telling her, look, yo, go run you a bath. You know what I'm saying? Keep going.
And anoint thee.
And anoint thee. And, you know, anoint, talking about oil. You know what I'm saying? If we was to bring that up today, you know what I'm saying? Go put some grease in your hair. I'm about to give you some box braids or some stitch braids or something like that. So this is how we gonna do it. Go run you a bath, go take you a nice hot bath. You know what I'm saying? When you get out, grease your scalp. You know what I'm saying? Put some oil in your head, grease your scalp, grease your hair. You know what I'm saying? Have it, you know what I'm saying? Get that Tazariak and Lily's, you know, butter, you know, the butter baths, you know what I'm saying? Get that, get yourself smelling good. Keep going.
And put thy raiment upon thee.
And put thy raiment upon thee. Now this is the cold part. This is like, even though it's not probably said a lot, but this is the cold part. Think about it. Now she's fitting well, I ain't gonna get out of the way too early. I'm gonna go ahead. We can keep going for time's sake.
And get thee down to the floor, but make not thyself known unto the man.
Right, you know, right, Salaki. So you know what I'm saying? So we're at verse 3. So you know what I'm saying? Just get down where you at, you know what I'm saying? But don't make yourself known. Don't just rush them, you know what I'm saying? Just get in the area, just get in the vicinity. So now Ruth, she done took a bath, you know what I'm saying? She done laid in relaxing water, you know what I'm saying? She done washed herself. She looking good, smelling good, got her hair done, everything. And now she's getting to the point to meet Boaz. Man, this is like sisters need to pay attention to this. Verse 3, that's the killer. You know what I'm saying?
Until he shall have done eating and drinking.
That's what you should do. Don't just rush it, brother, man. Brothers get home from work, man. Don't just rush them. Let them eat. Let them drink. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's what Naomi is telling them. Like, chill. Like, look, don't, you know, put yourself in the facility. You know what I mean? Get close enough, but don't approach him just yet. Allow, you know, Boaz, you know, he oversee a lot of people, so most likely he was been out there in the field overseeing, you know, getting everything straight, working. That's work too back then, you know, and you know, all a man want to do, you know, when a man come home from work, y'all sisters know when a man come home from work, hell, brothers know when as soon as you get out that slavery and you've been working 10, 12 and a half hours, you know what I'm saying? The first thing you want to do when you get in the house is not be bothered just yet. You know what I'm saying? Let me get some food in me. Let me get some drink in me. Then, and that's what Naomi is telling Ruth, don't approach him just yet. You know what I'm saying? Let him eat. Let him drink.
All right, come. And when it shall be, when he lieth down, that thou shalt mark the place where he shall lie.
Right. So now, okay. When we had Passover, we going into any major event, or we going down, you know what I'm saying, to visit with the brothers, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, we've been in situations where it might be 6 of us in the house, brothers sleep on the couch, 2, 3 brothers on the floor, you know what I'm saying? And that's how and that's what he's telling us. You know, Salaki, Naomi is telling Ruth, you know what I'm saying? Watch and see where he lay his head at. You know what I'm saying? And at the same time, you don't really want to, you know, she don't mark where he laying at. She don't know where he's sleeping. She might go fall on the wrong brother. You know what I'm saying? Or something. You know, just who knows? You know what I mean? So Naomi is giving her the game. She like, look, you know what I'm saying? Mark where he sleep at. Watch where he lay his head at, because I'm pretty sure it's gonna be other brothers laying amongst him. You know what I'm saying? So she tell Ruth, mark where he lays. You know what I'm saying? Watch where he lay his head at.
And thou shalt go in and uncover his feet.
And thou shalt go in and uncover his feet. What that mean? If everybody can.
Take his shoes off. Well, boots.
He already laying down.
No, just take the covers off his feet.
There you go, sir. You know what I'm saying? Naomi, like, you know what I'm saying? He going there, when he going there, he laying down and stuff. Just, you know, move the cover off of him a little bit. You know what I'm saying?
And lay thee down, and he will tell thee what thou shalt do.
Wow, you know what I'm saying? And lay thee down. So now she's saying, let me see where we at. Hold on, select. Okay, so now she's saying, like, lay down. Oh, you know, like, when he's in there laying down, you go in, uncover him. You know what I'm saying? And you cover him. You know what I'm saying? Not all the way, but, you know, just lay on him. You know what I'm saying? That's what Naomi is telling her to do.
Come, verse 5. And she said unto her, all that you say is unto me, I will do.
Right.
Verse 6. And she went down unto the floor, and did according to all that her mother-in-law bade her.
Right. So now she following it to the T. Everything that her mother said, that Naomi, her mother-in-law, told her to do, she followed. She like the whole blueprint. You know what I'm saying? She done did.
Come, and it Salakia. And when Boaz had eaten and drunk, and his heart was merry, he went to lie down at the end of the heap of corn.
Right.
And she came softly, and uncovered his feet, and laid her down.
So she uncovered his feet, and you know what I'm saying, and she laid on him.
Verse 8. And it came to pass at midnight that the man was afraid.
Right.
And turned himself.
Why was he afraid though? You know what I'm saying? You just think about it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I could imagine it. Like, as I was going over my list, I was just imagining like what that could have really just been like. Like that would have got me. You know what I'm saying? Like, you laying down. You know what I'm saying? From a hard day out there working, and you know what I'm saying? Somebody just come and uncover you. You know what I mean? And you laying down, and they come and she smelling good. She looking good. She ain't in that Moabite garment no more. She in that Israel garment. She smelling real good and nice and everything. So I know, you know, you out there passed out, and all of a sudden you just feel some pressure on you, and that sweet smell just hit your nose, and you know you get started. You kind of raise up like what? You know what I'm saying? Next verse. You know what I'm saying?
Come. Verse 9. And turned himself, and behold, a woman lay at his feet.
Right. So now she laying on him. So he like, you know what I'm saying? He laying down. She done came in. She done gently removed the cover up off of him halfway. You know what I'm saying? And she just lay on him. You know what I'm saying? Just lay on him. You know what I'm saying? And he smelling all this sweet smell she got coming up off her. Keep in mind, she freshly washed, new raiment. You know what I'm saying? She new fresh gear, you know what I'm saying? She new stitched braids. She looking good. You know what I'm saying? And just like anybody, you would get startled, you know, especially if you know you went to sleep by yourself, and all of a sudden you wake up, you got this young damsel on you, you know what I'm saying? So she went and laid at his feet. Keep going.
Come, verse 9. And he said, who art thou?
And he said, who art thou? Like that's how you know. I'm talking about, okay, when you go back into a few chapters back or the chapter back, when he went out, when she was out there working in the field, you know, she all sweaty. She got a Moabite garment on or whatever they wore in that country, you know what I'm saying, that custom, whatever that was, she was wearing the garment. And, you know what I'm saying, I'm pretty sure she just wasn't looking too hot. You know what I'm saying? And none of that. Cause she out there working. She trying to do something to gain this brother's attention. Just like most women do in this school. You know what I'm saying? Or anywhere. You know what I'm saying? Some sisters, you know, you at the job, you never know. She bring you plates. You know what I'm saying? Every time you show up to work, this sister got a good plate for you. Or some zuzus and wham-whams, you know what I'm saying? Y'all know what zuzus and wham-whams is. That's slang for snacks, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, you got she bringing you these things, trying to gain your attention. You know what I'm saying? Like that's heavy. That's real heavy, you know what I'm saying? Like, so he didn't even recognize her. He like, who art thou? Like, he didn't even recognize this the same woman that was in his field working, gleaning the corn. You know what I'm saying? She done switched the whole game up, thanks to Naomi. You know what I'm saying? Like I say, she smelling good, looking good, hair done, Israelite garment on. Who is you? He don't even recognize at that point. You know what I'm saying?
And she answered, I am Ruth, thy handmaid.
Right.
Spread therefore thy skirt over thine handmaid.
She said, spread the, hold on, so let me get with you. She says, spread therefore thy skirt over thy handmaid. Talk about the colors and stuff. You know what I'm saying? So I wonder how many brothers could have been that strong. I mean, I know it would have been a few brothers on the phone with General Muhammad, like, Salaki, sir, you got cash out? You know what I'm saying? Because I done broke the 6-month rule. You know what I'm saying? I got to give you 500. You know what I'm saying? That would have took a strong man, because like she like, man, remove thy skirt and cover me with it. You know what I'm saying? She like, man, I'm laying with you. They not like doing that, because Boaz he's a righteous brother. You know what I'm saying? So they not getting, it ain't none of that going on. It's just they just laying together. That's it. Like how you would do, man. You know, you lay down and with your shorty, and you know what I'm saying. So y'all just lay there and just be talking about stuff. You know what I'm saying? That's just what she doing. She telling him, you know what I'm saying, just spread therefore thy skirt over thine handmaid. Did you read that next part, sir? I don't want to get too far ahead of you.
For thou art a near kinsman.
That's the fourth clue. That she's not a Chinese woman. That she's not a Moabite or from the land of Moab, so-called Chinese. She said, for thou art a near kinsman. What is she saying? It's like it, sir.
Yeah, what she's saying is, I mean, yeah, we can. So, you know, if you would have me, she can be his.
Right. You know what I'm saying? Like we you know, you a near kinsman of mine. We are bloodline. We are related. You know what I'm saying? Like we a family. You flesh of my flesh, bone of my bone. You know what I'm saying? A heathen woman couldn't have said that. You know what I'm saying? Even though these fake Israelite groups, they will push that, because at the end of the day, you know, black men got a thing for heathen women. You know what I'm saying? For some reason, you know what I mean? We'll engage in a minute. You know what I'm saying? If we ain't careful, you know. Sir? Yeah, you know, we'll engage in a minute. You know what I mean? It's just, I don't know why, but it's that. You know what I'm saying? And we'll find every excuse to do it. And that's just what them fake Israelite groups do. There's no way in the scripture, nowhere did it say that or indication or the characteristics of anything in the scripture showed where she was an actual Chinese woman or from the land of Moab. You know what I'm saying? Like I say, if you going down, like that's like if you know what I'm saying, you live here and you just going to visit a relative or something like that, that's no different than that. You know what I'm saying? You hit another state. Like if I go down to Louisiana right now and visit my relatives, you know, they foreign to me. Even though we in the States, they foreign to they talk with an accent. You know what I'm saying? My cousin Karob, y'all heard his accent. You know what I'm saying? You know, he's straight from Louisiana. You know what I'm saying? It's a whole nother, they got a whole nother dialect. You know what I'm saying? And they speech and everything, no matter how they do, they got a whole nother custom and everything when you go down to Louisiana. It's the same thing. You know what I'm saying? It's really not that hard to understand, because the book of Ruth is not about her being a Moabite. You know what I'm saying? But we have to go in and break it down, because we have to defend her, because she's not here to defend herself. You know what I'm saying? We have to go in and battle with these fake Israelite groups and whoever else done got behind a computer screen saying that that Ruth was a Moabite. You know what I'm saying? We have to defend her integrity. We have to defend her honor in 2020 because brothers just want to go sleep with foreign women, strange women. You know what I'm saying?
Verse 10, and he said, Blessed be thou of the Lord,
Right.
my daughter, for thou hast showed me more, for thou hast showed more kindness in the latter end than at the beginning.
Right. You know what I'm saying? He's saying, what is that? What is that he's saying to her?
He's saying that he showed more kindness in the latter, which means, you know what I'm saying, she waited, you know what I'm saying, till he finished, you know, it's pretty much like how you were saying earlier, like he settled down, he done ate, he done drank. Because you know what I'm saying, like when you own something or when you're the boss of something, like you got a lot of people in your face trying to seek your approval, asking you for this, asking you for that. You know what I'm saying? And you haven't even ate, you haven't even drank, you know, you just, your mind's still spinning at that time, you know what I'm saying? But, you know what I'm saying, like, she done, you know, once he settled down, you know what I'm saying, like, nobody went over there and sought after him after he ate and drank. He just laid down, you know what I'm saying? But she went over there and took care of him, you know, by, laying next to him or whatever, you know what I'm saying, to make sure he was all right.
She was definitely, you know what I'm saying, a sweet sister, and that's the point that's what this is about. How sisters should be in their spirit, in their characteristics. But as far as the context goes, sir, that's not really what it's saying. It's talking about when his old age, and it'll show that because once we get down into it, it'll show that's what it's talking about. It's just talking about when he said that for thou hast shown more kindness in the latter end than at the beginning, and then meaning his old age, like because Salaki, so you want to keep reading that?
Yeah. Insomuch as thou followest not young men,
right,
whether poor or rich.
See what I'm saying? Like, damn, you chose me. Out of all these young men you could have had that you could have pursued, you chose me. You've done me a great kindness. You know what I'm saying? You could have had anybody, or you could have went after anybody you wanted, rich or poor. Rich or poor. You know what I'm saying? Old or young, but you chose me. You know what I'm saying? That's the kindness that you've done me. You know what I mean? Right, sir. But it was heavy. Everything you were saying was dead on the point because, you know what I'm saying, you know, we need more sisters like that. It's like it.
Verse 11.
This is going to be the last scripture, sir.
Come, verse 11. And now, my daughter, fear not. I will do to thee all that thou requirest.
Stop right there. You see what I'm saying? Sisters, you ain't got to call the police on them. You ain't got to call child support. Put them on child support. You know what I'm saying? You ain't got to call the police on them and get the brother shot 7 times in his back and get him paralyzed. You know what I'm saying? You ain't got to scratch his car up. You know what I'm saying? You ain't got to go all the way left on him and argue and go and send this brother through all these type of changes. All you got to do is be sweet and be gentle. And I promise you that man, he'll do what? Like when you read that again, sir, from the top, if I may. You may.
God. And now, my daughter, fear not. I will do to thee all that thou requirest.
All that you require, man. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the key right there. You know what I'm saying? That's the key right there. That's how she won him over. With her kindness, with how sweet she was, how humble she was, and a man just can't resist that. A man can resist a monster. That's what you gonna fight a monster. That's what you do. A monster come, you defend yourself. But sisters don't. You don't have to do that. If you really like, she just stepped on Atlanta Housewives in 9-inch heels. She just stepped on that whole show. She stepped on Love and Hip Hop. You know what I'm saying? And the fight in the society today that believes in the Y.A.P. or whatever they call it, or Megan Thee Stallion and all of these Cardi B's walking around here. Like, if you really want to get a man, read the story of Ruth. That's how you get him. 101, like straight up and down, like 6 o'clock. That's how you get it. If you want to follow this blueprint, and I promise you, you will get a husband. And he'll do for you anything that you would want. You know what I'm saying? Finish it out, sir.
Come. For all the city of my people doeth know that thou art a virtuous woman.
The only women in the Bible that ever been called virtuous women is Israelite women.
Right.
You don't never go nowhere in these scriptures where you find a heathen that was virtuous. They can't be virtuous because they don't have no laws, statutes, and commandments to follow. You know what I'm saying? And now he about to showcase them. Look, this is my new wife. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? He about to, like, they about to be in the streets of Judah. You know what I'm saying? With the band, with the theme at the back. You know what I'm saying? He about to showcase her, not like a trophy, but he finna honor her. You know what I'm saying? The kindness that she shown him, the way she went about it, the way she made herself so irresistible to him. You know what I'm saying? He about to put her. They about to be. When they step out, they gonna be the flies in the land of Judah. He's about to showcase her. You know what I'm saying? All because the way that she was. So, ladies, sisters, if you want to get a man, come to the book of Ruth. You know what I'm saying, and see what this sister did. And if I might add, you know what I'm saying, even though that is the last scripture, you know, read the whole book of Ruth, all of them, all the way to the 4th chapter. Read the whole book of Ruth, because it's heavy, especially for them sisters. You know what I'm saying? And Boaz, him being a righteous man, what did Boaz do with Ruth? Boaz, he understand the law. Matter of fact, that's another thing. That's Israelite law. You know what I'm saying? If a man, if okay, you have a brother, and your brother is married, but your brother dies, then it's up to you. You have to take on that woman, especially if she hadn't given them no kids yet. You have to take on your brother's wife, and if you didn't, you would get shamed in the street, like spit in the face. She would spit in your face, slap you, do something along those lines. She would shame you for that. You know what I'm saying? Like that's Israelite custom. He wouldn't have had to do that with her because she would have been a heathen. Matter of fact, she would have never been able to get a man in the land of Judah or in the land of Ephraim or anywhere else Israelites dwelt. So she couldn't have been a Moabite. You know what I'm saying? And Boaz being righteous, when you read further on, he asked her, he was like, you know, he went to see who has the right to her. Because that's what you have to do. Okay, because Ruth had land at that. When her husband died, he left her land. So not only that, she comes, so it's her and also her land. So Boaz, he went and found Ruth's cousin, the man that actually had the right to her. When you read further on in the scriptures, he had the right to her. But because he couldn't afford Ruth, he looked at Ruth, and after Boaz went to him and talked to him and told him what it was, he was like, man, I can't afford her. I can't afford to take on her land and her and everything like that. You take her. So Boaz did the right thing. He went seek out whoever has the right to her. And once it was clear and it was okay that he could marry this woman, he married that woman. You know what I'm saying? And that's the real story of Ruth. And next week, you know what I'm saying, I'm going to get into actually how we actually came and inhabited that part of what you would call the land of Moab. You know what I'm saying? When you get into the Numbers, when you get into the book of Numbers and Deuteronomy and Joshua, and next week I'm gonna break that down and show you how we actually, through war, took that land over. It was never Moabites living there in the first place. You know what I'm saying? We're the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge, started out of 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York. I'm Officer Mark Mahagabar, and I guess Salaki, we're gonna do the security announcements.
We are the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge, started out of 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York. Ruth, a new brother and sister. When a new brother or sister comes into the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They're to be saluted only. They're here to share themselves in the world. If they need transportation, the teacher will arrange it. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. There's another 6 months in which brother and sister will court each other. After this 6-month period, brother and sister will get permission from the head to marry, tithes, which is a commandment, out of the book of Numbers, chapter 18, verse 21, and Malachi, chapter 3, verse 8 through 10. Means 10th in the Hebrew, YAHANNA. 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you. Give to the treasury department or teacher. Priest fund, free will offering for priests, not mandatory. Whatsoever amount you would like. Upcoming holy convocations is the Day of Atonement, which is the 10th day of the 7th month, which is Saturday, September 26, 2020 at sundown, out of the book of Leviticus, chapter 23, verse 27 through 32. If anyone wants to become a trooper in the school, start wearing all black, boots, shirt, pants, headband, and scarf. Now, these are security announcements. Majim, which means to stand. We'll give a courtesy salute to the brothers. Men of Israel, I.S.U.P.K, Majim, Barak,
YAHANNA,
Yahawashi, Yazamatai, Saul. Courtesy salute to the sisters. Men of Israel, I.S.U.P.K, Majim, Barak, Yahawashi, Yazamatai. Dismissed.